Hey everyone, in this video I'd like to show you how to make amazing and delicious chicken soup with noodles. It's a very quick recipe, so I'm gonna show you it step by step. For this recipe you will need chicken stock, preferably homemade. Check out my video in the description how to make perfect chicken stock. Egg noodles, around 125 grams. This is around 1 liter or 1.5 liters of stock. Chicken meat that I picked from the bones that I used for the stock. These are leaves. You can use any plant leaves. It's optional. You can skip this, but it gives a good color. 1 tablespoon of turmeric for the color. Bunch of parsley, around 3 carrots, and an onion. So let's start by cutting carrots into julienne. So you make this slice and you start slicing it like that. You pile them up, one on the other, and you just make julienne. This beautiful julienne. That's our julienne. You don't have to cut it with a knife. If you have a mandolin, you can use a mandolin, that's totally fine. Let's put it on a hot pan with oil. In this case it's chicken fat. I rendered chicken fat out of chicken skin, but it's optional. It's just my preference because it has more flavor. I prefer this way. So start sauteing carrots. At the same time, let's fry onions. Let's cut onions into julienne as well. So when you cut it in julienne, you just make these slices. You reach the end, you turn it around, and no waste at all. Slightly break the julienne into separate pieces with your hand, middle temperature. Start stirring the vegetables with the spatula, and it's time to add some salt. You add some salt, makes the vegetables produce water, and thus it helps you to saute them faster. When you saute vegetables, your goal is to reduce their size in around twice and enhance their flavors by high temperature. But your goal is not to burn them, so it's really important to stir them, to mix them, not constantly, but from time to time. You got to keep an eye on your vegetables. Meanwhile, let's cut the parsley. Just press it together. And move your knife like that until it's fine enough. So that's the end result. Parsley is chopped nicely. At the same time, don't forget to stir your vegetables. It's really important not to let them burn. Stir them around every 30 seconds, something like that. It's been around 5-6 minutes. The veggies are already good enough. As you can see, they shrank in twice. They're full of flavors. Also, the chicken fat gave them flavor. So right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove it from the pan. Put soup pan on fire. Add chicken stock. See how transparent and beautiful it is. Then we slightly deglaze the pan with water, because we need to take all the juices, all the nutrients from the bottom, and then we add it to the chicken stock. Just like that. Bring the chicken stock to a boil, and the next task is to remove all this floating fat around. So you take a ladle like that, and you just skim it off the edge with this movement. Why is it important? Well, chef's task is to make the dish the most easy to eat for guests, for customers, and when there is fat, it always floats to the surface. When a person eats that, it gets stuck to their lips, to their chin, and they become dirty. It's not easy to clean without soap. So it also doesn't look really good. So all professional chefs, they usually remove the fat from the surface just like that. And there is another golden rule when you make any soups. You should add any ingredients one by one, letting the soup boil after each addition. I'm not really sure what's behind this, but I was taught this in a culinary college when we studied there. But whenever I didn't do the step, I skipped the step. I tried to put everything all at once. My soup inevitably went bad like 2-3 days in the fridge. I don't know why. Whenever I didn't do this, whenever I complied with this rule, my soup lasted like 7-10 days easily. So I don't know how it works, but I really recommend complying with this rule. And add one ingredient at a time, letting the soup, bringing the soup to a boil. Next, I'm gonna add some water, because it's highly concentrated. The stock is highly concentrated, and I see there is not enough water. Then we're gonna bring it to boil. Next, let's add some salt to taste. I just tasted it, it wasn't salty enough, obviously, because we added water. Next, let's add turmeric to give it this amazing yellow taste. Many people have a common problem with with chicken noodle soup, is that their noodles get expand in twice, and they take all the space. I'm gonna show you how to avoid this problem, and the secret is to add the noodles at the very last second. Bring the soup to a boil, and turn the heat off. They will be slightly undercooked. They will be al dente, but that's what we need. In this case, by the moment when the soup cools down, the noodles won't expand as much, and they will keep their shape more or less. So that's the trick I found out, I learned during my practice, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. Next, let's add some parsley, chopped parsley, for the flavor. And this is basically ready. The last ingredient is egg noodles. So you add the egg noodles. You bring the soup to a boil. Don't add too much, because they will expand eventually, one way or another, but with this trick they won't expand too much. So the soup is boiling, Let it boil for around 30 seconds and that's done, and turn off the heat. That will be it. And it's been around a minute. Then you can remove, turn off the heat. If you have any impurities, you can remove them with the ladle. Let's taste it. Really good. I'm just gonna add a little more salt. Bring it to a boil again. Whenever you add something, you gotta boil it. And that's it. That's the soup. If you need to serve it right away, you gotta try the noodles if they're ready. If they're not ready, you gotta cook until they're ready. But if you're gonna eat it later, just a few minutes later, just cook it for a minute, turn off the heat and leave it on the stove in the pan like that. And there you have it, chicken noodles soup. It's really easy and delicious. I gotta tell you that I think I added too much turmeric, so it made it too yellow. I don't like this color, so instead of 1 tablespoon you can just use 1 teaspoon. It's a new idea for me, or you can just skip the turmeric, that's totally fine. I usually make it without turmeric. So, but other than that, it's delicious, it has amazing taste, and the noodles are not going to expand too much. So, that's it. Thanks for watching.